a path of headstones in Middletown, a shady spot in Fairhaven. For these small New Jersey towns, peaceful places built to commemorate their victims of 9/11. Living less than 10 miles from each other, Lisa Luckett and Lori Tejan carry on the spirit and legacy of the loved ones they lost that morning.
My phone was ringing as I walked in the door, and my friend said, "What building is Ted in?" And I said, "The one with the antenna on it." And she said, "Well, turn on the television because a plane just hit it and took off the top 15 floors.
And I guess the most poignant memory for me that day is we were all standing around when the first tower came down. And I remember I just, like everybody, I just started crying and I said, "Oh my God, those poor families." And a few hours later, I learned that we were one of those families.
Lisa's husband, Ted, was working on the 105th floor of the World Trade Center, and Lori's brother, Ken, was a Port Authority officer who raced downtown to help during the attacks.
So he actually commandeered a taxi cab. He threw the driver in the back seat of the cab, and his partner told us they drove through parking lots, over sidewalks, like crazy to get down there.
He walked out the door that morning, and I said, "I love you, you're my soulmate," and off he went. And that's kind of almost a movie ending. But we're okay with that. You know, it's kind of peaceful, actually.
A decade later, they reflect on that dreadful day, but also talk about the positive impact 9/11 has had on their lives.
I think a lot has changed in our family. Obviously, even 10 years later, there's still a huge hole. I think the good thing that's come out of it is that we made a decision early on, and it may sound silly, but it really is a decision to either make something positive happen or to be a victim.
Lisa's children were 7, 4, and 4 months old when her husband left that morning for his job at Cantor Fitzgerald. And despite instantly becoming a single mother, she says her kids are where she found her happiness.
So probably by the 4th day I said that he had been killed in a fire, which is really what happened. You know, so 9/11 for us is everyone else's heart attack or stroke or cancer. It's how he died. So it's not that I've been dealing with 9/11 all these years. I've been dealing with the death of my children's father and my husband. And my kids saved me. They were looking at me. I'd be nursing Timmy at 4 months old, and he would smile at me. I mean, how do you stay sad? You have these beautiful children.
She and her children never moved from the home in Fairhaven that they shared with Ted. She says her boys look just like him, while her daughter Jen, who is preparing to go to college next year, is said to have her father's humor.
I just have heard really great stories, really inspiring stories. Yeah, he was, I can't believe he's not here. But he's still, you can, just in some expressions that Billy makes, or, the way that Timmy laughs, or certain things, you are just like, wow, he's still here. And he lives in us every day, so.
Like many families, the Lucketts received an outpouring of help from the community, which was difficult for Lisa to accept at first.
So the hardest thing to take is charity. Hardest thing in the world. It's a very bitter pill to try to have somebody actually help you. I'm supposed to help you. You're not supposed to help me. But that morning I realized that in order to help everybody else, I had to let them help me, which ended up being the most amazing part, because in order to learn to give, you have to receive. And
the Tejan family experienced similar generosity from others, and because of it, they started a foundation in Ken's name.
People from all over the country sent us donations. We had a little girl who sent us $3 from a lemonade stand that she held. And we felt that we weren't dependent upon my brother for money, and we didn't feel right keeping that. So the December after he was killed, we wound up buying 11 bicycles for local children in need.
The foundation helps area kids through a mentoring program, providing gifts at Christmas, and most recently organizing a motorcycle ride from Ground Zero to D.C. to raise money for policemen's families killed in the line of duty.
My brother's sacrifice has led to a lot of positive things for me and my family, and a lot of experiences we wouldn't have had. But of course I would trade them all to, have things have turned out differently.
Those lost are celebrated each year, and pieces from Ground Zero serve as personal memorials for these families. 10 years later, they will never forget and look forward to the future.
My experience of 9/11 was beautiful. 90% positive. I used to joke that it was the joke. Not the goodness of 9/11, but the godness of 9/11, that it really brought such amazingly beautiful things out of people. To this day, I still get incredible treatment. If people were treated the way I am, it would be a much better world.
For the first time, Lisa and her children will attend the ceremony at Ground Zero this year, while Lori will spend it the way she always has, with her family and other Port Authority officers. Lila Ibrahim, The Associated Press.